old and 8 months pregnant, has been sentenced to death by hanging for apostasy by a court in Khartoum.
Some say that this decision is unfair, but we gave her the time to prove her innocence. We Sudanese believe we have to defend our traditions and customs.
Mariam Ibrahim was raised an Orthodox Christian, her mother's religion, because her father, a Muslim, was not present when she was a child. The court gave the young woman 3 days to convert, but she refused.
We respect the judiciary and the decision of the court, but we have our reservations, and we will continue the legal process by taking this case to the Court of Appeal. If this verdict stands, we will take the case to the African Commission for Human Rights and People.
50 people demonstrated against the verdict in front of the courthouse. Over 100 people were inside the courthouse for the trial, including a number of diplomats. The United States, Britain, Canada and the Netherlands have appealed to the Khartoum government to allow the woman to choose her own religion.
Dozens of people are reported dead in a Bangladesh ferry disaster. Efforts to rescue the passengers, numbering 200, were hampered by strong currents. For more on that and other stories around the world, we turn to the news roundup by CFI.
The Turkish mine that collapsed, killing at least 284 miners last Tuesday, has denied any negligence. According to Soma Holding, Turkey's worst ever mining disaster was caused by an unexplained build-up of heat that caused the explosion. There are still 18 miners trapped inside the mine. The disaster has provoked anti-government protests because of a lack of safety standards and outrage as Prime Minister Erdogan's advisor was caught violently kicking a protester in Soma. In Bangladesh, dozens of people are reported killed in a ferry disaster on the Meghna River. The ferry capsized and sank during a storm southeast of the capital Dhaka. 200 people were aboard the ferry when it went down. These accidents are common in Bangladesh's rivers, with scores of people killed every year due to overcrowding. According to local police, dozens of people managed to swim to safety, but rescue efforts were hampered by strong currents and the depth of the water. In Syria, Islamist rebels detonated explosives in an army base in Wadi Dif, one of the Syrian regime's last remaining strongholds in the Idlib province. The rebels dug an 860-meter-long tunnel and packed it with explosives. Dozens of people are reported killed. The Islamic Front, a rebel coalition, claimed responsibility for the attack, as well as an earlier explosives attack under the famous Carlton Hotel in Aleppo. Neighbors Bosnia and Serbia have declared a state of emergency in response to the worst flooding since records began 120 years ago. Thousands of people have had to be rescued in both countries. Bosnia and Serbia are appealing for international assistance. Torrential rains have caused what the president of Serbia described as the greatest flooding disaster ever in the region.
The World Cup may be billed as the biggest sporting event in the world, but this summer's tournament in Brazil comes with another prize. For hundreds of Brazilians, the event is more about their country selling its image internationally. Protesters in Rio and Sao Paulo condemned the billions of dollars being injected into stadiums at the expense of basic services. CFI gives us the details.
To host the Football World Cup this summer, huge protests broke out Thursday in host cities Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. The main complaint is the vast sums of public money spent on the event while basic services are ignored. We've been asking the question, who is this World Cup for? And the time has come for us to give the answer. This World Cup is not for the majority of the Brazilian people. We are against this type of event that excludes the population.
The only benefits that an event like this could bring would be the consolidation of public services, but the organizers of the World Cup have no interest in that.
The anger is targeted at FIFA, the event organizer, as well as the Brazilian government, which protesters say is more concerned about its international image than its citizens. Among the protesters were members of the homeless workers movement, which marched towards Sao Paulo's Itaquerão Stadium, which has cost a reported $450 million. The problem is not the stadium, but the fact that so much was spent on building the stadium, which has pushed up the rent in the area. Meanwhile, there are no health services here. We don't have a basic infirmary or a hospital. Various incidents broke out during the evening. Aerial images showed roadblocks and looting. The government says it is ready for the World Cup despite the protest movement. Brazilian police have been given special training by the FBI and U.S. police, especially for the event. Some 170,000 police officers and 30,000 military personnel are expected to be deployed throughout the country to ensure security during the games.
Next. Welcome back. Sports news just in. Manchester City have been fined £49 million, 32 million of which is suspended, and can only name a 21-man Champions League after failing UEFA financial fair play rules. Paris Saint-Germain, one of 8 other teams to breach the rules, have been handed a similar punishment to the Premier League champions. Office for the weather report.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without season. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the weather segment. We experience a warm and sunny atmosphere in the afternoon across the country, whilst the satellite picture indicates convective activities over parts of Gulf of Guinea states, likewise Central Africa. These will eventually cause rain and thunderstorm over the affected areas. Tonight will be relatively cool and dry over the coastal zone, becoming warm over the inland areas. Tomorrow morning, we expect these conditions to persist, becoming warm and sunny in the afternoon. Wind flow will be northwesterlies over the coastal zone, while southwesterlies over the inland areas. The speed will vary between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperatures will be 20 degrees Celsius over the Greater Banjul areas, 21 over West Coast and North Bank region, 23 degrees Celsius over Lower River, whilst the rest of the country will be either 25 or 26 degrees Celsius warm. Maximum temperatures will be 30 degrees Celsius over the Greater Banjul areas, 35 over the West Coast region, 37 over North Bank and Lower River, while Central and Upper River region will record 40 and 41 degrees Celsius respectively. Low tides will be 0.6 meters at 8:16 a.m. and also at 9:15 p.m. High tides will be 1.3 meters at 2:21 a.m. and 1.5 meters at 2:42 p.m. Waves will vary between 0 to 1 meter, southwesterly swells. The sun will rise at 23 minutes to 7 in the morning and will set at 27 minutes after 7 in the evening. Thanks for watching and do have a wonderful weekend.
before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top story. Several diasporans have been decorated with national honors as